Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
I've broken into the Wellspring immigration office. There's no one around right now. Mingqi's nowhere to be found either. So I'm just going to do this little show by myself this time around. She may or may not have been in the Olympics recently. It is February 20th of 2022. I'm not saying that she was in the Olympics. I'm also not saying that she was in the Olympics. Anyway, welcome to Wellspring Immigration's 5 for 5. I'm Random Extra. This is the show that we talk about Canadian immigration topics as well as miscellaneous facts about Canada, all within 5 minutes. And as I said, Mingqi's away, so I'm going to try to do this myself this time around. Today's topic is going to be about the advantages of being a Canadian citizen. Compared to major Western countries, Canada has one of the highest percentages of See, this is going to be the problem, is that if I make a mistake or anything like that, I don't have anybody that I can cut away to. It's just myself, so that's going to be a little bit tough to do. So anyway, today's topic is going to be on the advantages of being a Canadian citizen. Compared to major Western countries, Canada has one of the highest percentages of immigrants who obtain citizenship. So I have all my notes that Mingqi has supplied here, and I'm going to try to get through this within 5 minutes. So let's get started. I'm going to start my timer over on the left here, and away we go. Number 1, Canadian citizens are protected by the Canadian government under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So the Charter guarantees rights such as the freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion without infringing on other people's lives. Becoming a Canadian citizen also allows people to gain the right to vote and participate in Canadian politics. This means Canadian citizens can be elected as members of Parliament and participate in managing the different levels of government that exist within Canada. You or your children could someday become Prime Minister of Canada if you lead a major political party. I mean, how exciting is that? Number 2, with a Canadian passport, you can travel to many countries around the world without applying for a visa, which makes travel way easier. According to the Henley Passport Index, you can look that up online actually, Canada ranks 7th for the number of visa-free destinations a Canadian passport can access. So that's 185 different countries a Canadian citizen can travel without needing to apply for a visa first before actually traveling there. Number 3, a Canadian citizen doesn't have to fulfill a residency requirement in order to live in Canada. They can also live wherever they want in Canada, or if they didn't want to, they could even just live anywhere in the world and they'd still be classed as a Canadian citizen. So a permanent resident, on the other hand, a PR needs to fulfill a residency requirement, which is living in Canada at least 730 days in the past 5 years. Plus, a PR needs to renew their PR identification card regularly, whereas a citizen usually only needs to renew their passport every 10 years or so, but only if they want to hold the passport. So, number 4, have you ever thought about going back to school to study for a new career? Or maybe it's your first time enrolling in college or university. Either way, being a post-secondary student can be expensive, and I know myself. I've spent a lot of time in university. International students pay a lot more than a Canadian citizen at college or universities, and sometimes up to 3 or 4 times more than a Canadian citizen. You're never too old to go back to school, so let me tell you that. You're never too old. So if you meet the requirements, why not save money and become a Canadian citizen first before finishing that master's or your doctorate degree? Last one, number 5, stay comforted in the fact that if you are already a Canadian citizen and you're expecting a new addition to your family, when your child is born in Canada, they will also be an immediate Canadian and enjoy all the same benefits as you without needing to file huge amounts of paperwork and paying any fees. Now, if your child happens to be born outside of Canada, but you or your partner is a Canadian citizen, then you will still need to file some papers and pay some fees in order to prove that the child is of Canadian heritage. Now, keep in mind, this only applies to the first generation of children born outside of Canada. If your children have children, then they should make sure to return to Canada if they want them to automatically become Canadian citizens. That was the last one, so thank you very much for joining us on Wellspring Immigration's 5 for 5. I'm Random Extra. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. You can also reach us at wellspringimmigration.ca if you perhaps wanted to come to Canada and become a Canadian citizen. So hopefully now next episode, Mingqi will be back from maybe the Olympics, maybe not. Don't know, won't say. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. And as I said, this is Wellspring Immigration's 5 for 5. I'm Random Extra. Take care.